Your cat eats. They sleep. They sit near you sometimes. From the outside, everything looks completely fine. But what if it isn't? What if your cat has been trying to tell you something for weeks, maybe even months, and every single signal has been so quiet, so easy to miss, that you simply never saw it? Loneliness in cats doesn't look the way most people expect. There's no crying at the door, no dramatic display, no obvious sign that says something is wrong. It hides. It sits quietly inside a cat who has learned that no one is going to respond anyway. And the truth is, most owners go their entire lives never realizing their cat felt this way. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. And more importantly, you'll know what to do about it before it gets worse. Point 1, they sleep more than usual, but not peacefully. Have you noticed your cat sleeping more lately and just assumed that's what cats do? Most people do. And honestly, it makes sense. Cats sleep a lot. Somewhere between 12 and 16 hours a day is completely normal. So when a cat sleeps even more than that, it's easy to shrug it off. But here's what most owners miss. There's a difference between a cat who sleeps because they're content and a cat who sleeps because there's simply nothing else to do. A content cat sleeps in different spots. They shift positions. They wake up, stretch, look around, engage briefly with their environment, then drift back off. Their sleep has a natural rhythm to it. A lonely cat sleeps differently. They stay in one spot for hours. They don't stretch. They don't explore. They just disappear into sleep as a way of passing time that has become too empty to fill any other way. Behavioral researchers studying domestic cat welfare found that cats with insufficient social stimulation showed significantly increased sleep duration alongside decreased exploratory behavior. In simple terms, they weren't sleeping more because they were relaxed. They were sleeping more because they had given up on finding something worth being awake for. Watch not just how much your cat sleeps, but how they sleep. A cat who wakes up and immediately looks around for something or someone is a healthy cat. A cat who wakes up, stares at the wall, and closes their eyes again, that's a cat telling you something in the only language they have left. Point 2, they stop grooming properly. This one is so easy to miss that most owners don't catch it until it's been going on for months. Your cat's coat is one of the most honest windows into their emotional state. Not just their physical health, their emotional health. Cats who feel secure, stimulated, and connected groom regularly. It's not just about cleanliness. Grooming is a self-soothing behavior. It regulates their nervous system, keeps them calm, and signals that they feel safe enough to take care of themselves. When a cat becomes lonely, truly lonely, not just alone for an afternoon, that self-soothing system starts to break down. You might notice their fur looking slightly dull, less soft than it used to be. Maybe a little matted behind the ears or along the back where they struggle to reach. Some cats go the other direction and overgroom, licking one spot obsessively until the fur thins out or the skin becomes irritated. Both are the same signal, wearing different faces. A 2016 study in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science found a direct link between social isolation in cats and disrupted grooming patterns. Both under-grooming and compulsive over-grooming appeared significantly more in cats with limited social interaction. Here's what makes this sign so heartbreaking. Grooming is one of the first things cats do for each other when they bond. Mother cats groom their kittens. Bonded cats groom each other. It's how they say, "I see you. You matter. You're safe." When your cat stops doing it for themselves, they're not being lazy. They're showing you that something inside them has gone quiet. Point 3, they follow you everywhere, but never settle. Here's one that surprises most people. Because it doesn't look like loneliness at all. Your cat follows you from room to room. They're always nearby, always present. It seems like closeness, like they just really love your company, and they do. But there's a version of this behavior that isn't about love. It's about anxiety. A cat who follows you and then settles, who curls up nearby, relaxes, and simply enjoys being in the same space that's a bonded, secure cat. A cat who follows you, then paces, then follows you again, then sits but can't quite get comfortable, then gets up when you move. That cat is not relaxed. They're attached in a way that has become desperate. Animal behaviorists call this hyper-attachment, and it's one of the clearest emotional signs that a cat isn't getting enough consistent connection throughout the day. What's happening underneath is this. Your cat has learned that you are their only source of real interaction. The rest of their day is empty. So when you're home, they track you like their entire emotional world depends on it, because to them, it does. This is also why these cats often become distressed when you leave, and why the following behavior gets more intense over time rather than less. The fix isn't to push them away. It's to fill in the empty hours so that your presence becomes something they enjoy rather than something they desperately depend on. And I'll tell you exactly how to do that at the end of this video. Point 4. Their appetite changes without any physical reason. Have you ever noticed your cat eating less, or suddenly becoming frantic around food and assumed it was just a phase? Most owners connect appetite changes to physical illness. And yes, that's always worth checking. But what often gets overlooked is this emotional state has a direct and measurable effect on how cats eat. Lonely cats frequently show one of two patterns. The first is decreased appetite. They eat slower. They leave food in the bowl they would have finished before. They seem disinterested in meals that used to excite them. This mirrors what happens in humans experiencing prolonged loneliness. The things that used to bring small pleasure start to feel flat. The second pattern is the opposite: sudden food obsession. Racing to the bowl, finishing too fast, crying for food when the bowl isn't even empty. This happens because food becomes one of the only reliable sources of stimulation left in their day. It's not hunger, it's displacement, using eating to fill a space that should be filled with connection. Research published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior confirmed that psychosocial stress in cats, including social isolation, directly impacts feeding behavior and can present as either appetite suppression or compulsive food seeking. So if your vet has ruled out physical causes and the eating pattern still seems off, don't stop looking. The answer might not be in their body. It might be in their emotional world. Point 5. They stop bringing you into their world. This is the quietest sign of all, and it's the one most owners never even realize they've lost until it's been gone for a long time. When cats feel truly connected, they invite you in. They bring you things: a toy, a leaf they found interesting, sometimes something far less pleasant. They chirp at the window and look back at you, waiting for you to come see what they're watching. They slow blink at you from across the room just to check that you're still there. These aren't random behaviors. They're invitations. A cat who does these things is a cat who still believes connection is possible, who still expects that reaching out will lead to something, who hasn't yet learned to stop trying. A lonely cat goes quiet in a very specific way. The invitations stop. The chirping fades. The toys stay where they were left. They stop bringing you into their world because somewhere along the way, without either of you fully realizing it, they learned that the world they were inviting you into was one you weren't quite seeing. This is the hardest sign to notice because it's defined by absence. You're not seeing something alarming. You're simply not seeing something that used to be there. Think back to 3 or 6 months ago. Was your cat more playful? More vocal? Did they used to drop things at your feet or stare at you with that look that said, "Come see this"? If that's faded, that's not your cat getting older or calmer. That might be your cat getting quieter in a way that deserves your attention. The good news is this: loneliness in cats is not permanent, and it doesn't take dramatic changes to reverse it. 15 minutes of real, focused interaction daily, not passive presence, but actual engagement, can begin shifting a lonely cat's emotional state within days. Get on the floor with them. Use a toy that moves like prey. Let them win. Create environmental enrichment for the hours you're away. A bird feeder outside a window. A puzzle feeder. Rotating toys so something always feels new. You don't need to be there for your cat to feel stimulated, you just need to set the stage before you leave. Notice the small invitations and respond to them. When your cat slow blinks at you, slow blink back. When they drop something at your feet, acknowledge it. When they chirp at the window, walk over. These micro moments of response are what tell a cat that reaching out is still worth it. And if you're away for long hours, regularly consider whether a second cat might be the right decision. Not always. Some cats genuinely prefer being alone, but for deeply social cats, another companion can change everything. Your cat will never sit you down and tell you they're lonely. They'll never ask for more. They'll never demand what they need. They'll just slowly, quietly, stop expecting it. And that's the part that should stay with you. Because the signs were always there. Small, easy to miss, hidden inside behaviors that looked like nothing. Now you know what to look for. So tonight, look at your cat a little differently. Notice how they sleep. Notice if they follow. Notice what they've stopped doing that they used to do. And if something feels off, trust that feeling. Because your cat has been trusting you all along. If this opened your eyes, share it with someone who loves their cat. They need to see this too.